From Screen Junkies Studios, this is Screen Junkies Movie Fights, brought to you by Comic Bento. Now your host, Andy Signore.
Hello, Screen Junkies. Welcome to another episode of Movie Fights. This is going to be a fun one. Today we will be breaking down best movie, best based on a children's book. We'll be pitching a new Batgirl movie, and we'll be deciding what is the worst moment in Independence Day Resurgence. Some people are calling it a garbage fire. We'll see if our three panelists agree, and if they do, what defines a garbage fire? They'll be picking their choice for the scene that helps that. If you're watching live on Twitter, please join us at hashtag Movie Fights Live. Dan Murrell on the couch will be I'm changing the order here. Look at this. It's screwing up JT. Dan Murrell on the couch will be tracking you, fact-checking us all. Are you excited, Dan?
I am excited. I did not hate Independence Day as much as most people did.
I know. You and I should have fought that.
I'm excited to hear these three talk about it.
Can you and I fight that on SGU some point?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Next to you on the fan cam, going to you, Christopher Spencer. We've seen him a lot. And if you're a fan of the show, of our Plus, we've seen he's done some. He gave our fan casting a great fan casting. Thank you for that. And you're here on the fan cam. Are you excited?
I'm very excited.
Thank you for coming. We're big fans of you as well. Now let's introduce who's here today to fight. First up, he's making his return here, and the host of Doug Loves Movies, Doug Benson.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
And Doug, we're going to tease some big news at the end of the show, aren't we?
Oh, we're going to tease it at the end?
We're teasing it now, and then we're teasing it at the end. Double tease.
Classic double tease with Jean-Claude Van Damme and a basketball player.
Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, that guy. Couldn't come up with it fast enough.
But you came back. This is your third time here.
Yes.
You must be enjoying it. I'm happy to hear
it
that.
out. That's my plan.
And I'm done. Check it out.
I am not a movie fighter. I'm a movie lover.
Movie lover. All right, we'll see how you do today. Also returning, we're so glad he made it here, from the Schmoes Know, comedian Mark Ellis.
I am a movie fighter. The only reason I watch movies, Andy, is to fight about them and to argue with my friends and enemies about them.
Well, I'm just grateful. It's hard to book you on Thursdays because you guys got Schmoes Know right after us.
We got the live show coming right after us.
You do, and I want to help you guys get to 300 subscribers.
Oh, 300,000. We already passed 300.
300? What are you?
300,000 subscribers.
What are you, Gerard Butler?
Don't make fun of me.
Here's the thing. We promised the crew that we'd take them all to Vegas once we got to 300,000 subscribers, and right now we have the money in the bank to do it. So we want to go ahead and get past the 300 mark so you guys can follow the
Do
link
I get to
in
come
this
since I'm helping to promote you?
You can, dude, you're always invited. You're always on the show. You can come to Vegas.
Come to Vegas? We'll Periscope with you guys.
Well, it's actually going to be Barstow. We're just not telling the crew.
Oh, smart. It's still fun.
We really have the money for Vegas, but yeah.
But go subscribe over Schmoes Know. You can find Schmoes Know on YouTube.
Get that look off your face, Glickman. Act like you're happy.
I'm ready to fight, man.
He's ready to fight. He's the host of the nighttime show, Stephen Glickman.
Hey, buddy.
Big Time Rush.
Nice to see you. How are you?
Upcoming Pigeons. No, Storks. You play a pigeon in
I
Storks.
play Pigeon Toady in the upcoming Warner Brothers film Storks.
That's a good gig.
It's a wonderful gig. Very
Imagine
excited.
if it becomes Shrek and you're in 10 movies. And then can you license your voice to the toys and stuff?
I'm already doing that. We're already doing the
Wow.
Is there a chance you'll get cut out?
God,
He has
I
a
hope
poster.
not. I'm on the poster, so hopefully not.
It's far enough down the road that you can talk about it. Sometimes, especially when dealing with the stork, you don't want to mention things too early.
I just wish it was the
Keep
Snorks.
it tight.
I like the Snorks more.
The Snorks.
Remember them? They were the
They're a
Smurfs
thing?
underwater.
Of course.
Oh, yeah, they had the
Underwater
weird
Smurfs.
noses.
Yeah, they were the underwater Smurfs.
Of course.
No gills on the Snorks. A lot of them drowned fairly early in their
They
life.
had a trunk on their head.
Yeah.
Well, Steven, you picked The Terminal for your favorite Steven Spielberg movie, so you're going to do better today, right?
I'm going to do much better. You have my word, America. All right.
What's your second favorite one? War Horse?
You're a 1941 guy.
I love 1941.
Terrific.
All right, let's get ready to do this. I tease big news coming at the end of this show, so stay tuned. But before we start, I have to thank today's sponsor. I think, Dan, do you have some stuff to show?
I do have some stuff
Because I'm
to
excited to show off Comic Bento. This is today's sponsor. Comic Bento is an original graphic novel subscription box with new stuff every month. If you want to get on this month's theme, go to www.comicbento.com. It's on the screen there. Comicbento.com and check them out. The July's theme will be Cybernetic Collection featuring robots, androids, mechanical beings, and more. What? Love that X-Men book.
Days
Look
of
at this
Future
stuff.
Past.
Is that Goonies? What was that?
This is a mankind. This is people. It's like the history of people.
Oh,
You
that
can
looks
learn
like-
a little something. It's made by the History Channel.
All right.
You got Kronos Commandos. It's got dinosaurs, and on the back it has Albert Einstein firing a machine gun.
I mean, come
Einstein
on.
dinosaurs.
Yes, and then it's a Time Walker. Ivar Time Walker. It's got time. in it. Time travel, I would assume. So yeah, we got some sci-fi stuff. I mean, this right here alone is worth it.
It's got time travel, I'd assume.
I mean-
It's called Time Walker. He's not a guy that walks with a watch, Dan.
You don't know that, Ellis. You don't
travels
know that.
time.
Let me consult the back.
All right, so make
Yes,
sure
it
you
is.
guys go to comicbento.com and use promo code MovieFights to get 15% off a subscription level. Don't forget, thank you, Comic Bento. I'm excited to check those out. Thanks for sharing. All right, guys, let's do this.
Now let's do this!
This is where we fight!
Fight!
Round one. Now, I love about this theme is, Independence Day finally came out and people are calling it a garbage fire. Oh, yeah. What was fun is, Doug Benson, you were the one who hadn't seen it, and you're like, I'll go see it. And then did you text me during it because it was so bad? Because then I think I texted back, this is the one movie I would allow that.
Yeah, I'm not pro texting during movies myself, but I saw it at a theater.
Mine was empty.
Yeah, it was very empty, and it was also a theater that had some couches just in the back. So me and my buddy were sitting in the back, and each of us would throw off a text or a tweet every once in a while because the light wasn't going to bother anybody but each other. But oh boy! Also, the movie theater I saw it in, there was like a really bad buzzing sound coming from the air conditioning in one corner of the room. So it was just like.
Oh, it wasn't even like a constant noise?
No, it was just that. It was just like Morse code for this movie's horrible. Why are you wasting your afternoon? But that was more fascinating to me, that a theater would show that movie with that annoying noise happening the entire time. I was like, they don't even care
noise.
about the movie and the proper exhibition of it.
Were you guys fans of the movie?
Someone's cell phone light would be a welcome escape
Yeah. Oh,
from that horrible
something's happening
movie.
over there.
Oh, wow. Amazing. Thank
The
God.
theaters are so empty during this movie that I was like, I can check an email right now.
Yeah,
and I
I'm the
didn't feel bad.
nation's foremost defender against stop texting. I hate people who text, but if you're seeing ID4 Resurgence, take your laptop. I don't care.
Watch Netflix on your
Dan Murrell
iPad.
disagrees.
I will note, I like this movie more, but I went to see it the night before at like 10 o'clock, and the poor guy at the ArcLight came out with the enthusiasm that you're supposed to have in midlife. He was like, "Who's ready for Independence Day?" There were 24 people in the theater. It was not a good sign.
Oh, my God.
So yes.
All right, well, I mean, we're not trying to just shit on the movie, but let's shit on the movie.
Yep.
This question comes from Daniel Lewis, which is, what was the worst part of Independence Day Resurgence? Now, I throw my cards out. I mean, I did not like this movie, but it is sort of it seems, and I agree a little bit, like the people who do are admitting it's really dumb and stupid. So it seems to be the only people who are liking this movie is the ones admitting that it's a big dumb movie. That out aside, why is this such a bad movie? Why are people not connecting to it as well as they should? What was the moment that sort of helped you, that defines this movie as a failure? And we're starting with you, Doug. What's the pick that sort of made this what it is?
Well, I mean, to Will Smith, it was pretty much the whole show the first time around. I love Jeff Goldblum, and Bill Pullman's great, but it was the Will Smith show. It was the movie that put him on the map. So to come back and go, oh, now he's not in it. Well, but we still got to drag Vivica A. Fox into the mix, and she and Will Smith had a kid together, and that kid is a fighter pilot. But just like in San Andreas, because that was my big beef with San Andreas when The Rock did this kid with this fighter plane could be saving a lot of lives, but he just runs off to check on his mom at the hospital, and when he gets there, he gets to watch her plunge to her death.
Spoiler alert. We will be spoiling the movie.
Sorry. And me and my friend in our couch in the back of the theater laughed so hard at that. So that was, and you know what? Only laugh in the entire picture. Either for it or against it. You know what I mean? It's not fun bad. It's just bland.
Yeah.
And so when that happened, at least I was like, well, at least one really awful thing happened that I could also point to and say that's ridiculous.
Mark, what's your pick?
You know, Andy, it might be a trifecta of us crapping on Will Smith's kid in this movie, because I, too, have a scene with him, but it's the emotional crux of the entire movie was him repairing his relationship with Liam Hemsworth's character, and when they tried to have a bonding moment, it ended up failing and having no charisma or emotional pull, which is what the first one managed to do. It's the scene when Liam is trying to comfort Will Smith's kid, and he says, hey, you know what? I know you're sad about your mom, but hey, I've been there, too. I know what you're feeling. feeling right now. The entire theater I was in, which was about 24 people, laughed audibly at that scene because they're trying to forge some sort of emotional connection with these characters, and it doesn't work. A movie like Independence Day Resurgence needs two things to work. You need to have some connection with the characters, and you need to have a lot of personality, and that scene proved that Liam and this new kid had no personality and no emotional connection between them or to any other character in the movie.
That scene needed Val Kilmer and Tom Cruise.
It was trying to be Top Gun.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Stephen Glickman.
I thought the movie was a horrendous mess. I went to go see it with a friend. He fell asleep, and then every time something horrible was happening on screen, Mike Black. Every time something horrible was
Hilarious
happening
comedian.
on screen, I would wake him up out of his sleep and go, "Look how terrible this scene is!" Like I just kept waking him up to watch another horrendous. Chris Hemsworth sitting in his plane, and then Liam Hemsworth. I'm sorry, Liam Hemsworth in his plane.
Point taken away.
Sorry, Liam Hemsworth in his plane, and his girlfriend comes up, or fiance comes up. I've been picking out these houses, and he's like, "Well, maybe if there's a world when we get back after this is done, maybe we'll look at houses." You fucking idiot! Sorry for the language. I don't know if we're allowed to.
Is that the scene you're picking?
No, that's not the scene I'm picking.
You're
The
just
scene,
saying-
no,
okay.
I just hate it. But the movie ends. The end of the movie is the worst scene of the film. Like after everything has happened and they've won, which is kind of a waste of a win because the whole Earth has been destroyed at this point. There's nothing left, and the ship is taking off and everything. Brent Spiner comes out and he goes, "Hey, everybody! I just found out this amazing information: interstellar travel." Right? And then the president goes, "You mean we should take the war to them?" And then Liam Hemsworth goes, "I'm ready. When do we leave?" And then Brent Spiner goes, we're going to give those aliens hell. And that's the end of the movie. That's how a movie ends. And that means that they're setting up another movie, which is the worst. It's the worst possible situation. So we have to watch. First of all, we didn't win. The Earth didn't win. It just happened. We happened to not have the planet get completely destroyed.
It's a pretty big loss, though.
Yeah, it's a huge loss. It's like you ever been in a relationship and your girlfriend cheats on you with 47 people, and then immediately then you're like, maybe we can work it out. It's like you can't. It's destroyed. It's over.
47?
That's a lot. I'm just saying.
That seems pricey.
It was college.
That doesn't help.
All right, that
anything.
ruined the ending.
college.
This ruined the personality connections, and yours just was bland. So fight it out. Why is this which one's the worst?
Well, look, I mean, the easy argument against Glickman's answer is that that's at least the end of the movie because mercifully,
No, but they're gonna do more.
That moment did make me happy because it was over.
I'm put out of my misery, and as much as it was hilarious when Vivica A. Fox unintentionally so died, it was like, who cares? Because Vivica A. Fox was an ancillary character in the first one, so I don't really care about her. The worst part about that was that because she died, now we have to have this awful conversation that is the epitome of why the movie is bad. So my little conversation encapsulates the entire film and why it's such a failure.
Yeah, and that's what I was going for, is that the whole movie, there's not a single character to root for, and then when thousands and thousands of people are dying and all these buildings crashing, all crashing down, they focus on, at one point, a baby being passed into a helicopter, and that's also like considered a win in that world. It's like, well, none of our characters are interesting enough. Everyone cares about a baby, but it's just they're going to so much trouble to save one baby.
Well, that baby's going to start Independence Day 6.
That maybe down the road, that baby's a tentpole baby, but the whole movie. There's nobody to care about or be interested in, or any, even though the effects are probably okay, like seeing Judd Hirsch, in a boat outrunning, a tidal wave.
I'm in
Yeah,
the ocean.
oh, what a way! And then you think he's dead, a goner for sure, and then a little bit later he shows up again, and you're not sad that he died. You're not happy that he's back.
No, not at all.
Not interesting at all.
Yeah, no, I agree with both of you, but I really do think that the thought of there being more of these movies and that they're going to continue making them is the worst.
But that's
part.
our decision, and we've already made it. Like at the box office, like if they proceed with another one, I'd be shocked.
But here's the issue, though, is that yes, it's the end end of the movie, but these are things I expect from what was a fun, cheesy popcorn fest, the first Independence Day, which we all loved, right? Is that it tried to set up sequels. The first Independence Day also killed a lot of people. You need to have a lot of eggs breaking in order to make this omelet of a movie. However, you also need personality and charisma, and it's so lacking in this movie, particularly with the new folks they brought back. Yes, Goldblum mailed it in, and Bill Pullman was just doing whatever wacky Lone Star from Spaceballs, but the new characters you brought in, somebody had to come play ball, and my scene represents them failing to do that miserably.
Do you think that scene you two made, is Mark making a good point? Did that scene help sell that? Or did those characters in that scene feel that way to you?
I mean, that whole movie sells all of our points, I think.
It's hard trying to get specifics there.
We're all just taking one big dump on it together. It's hard to argue.
It really is hard
No,
to argue.
I hated it more.
It's a horrible movie with a lot of real bad points and bad performances. Like epically bad writing and bad performances.
But stay in your scene, because we agree and we can just shit on it, but I gotta give a
Brent
point.
Brent Spiner, who is a great actor, shows up and is like, hey, this giant ball was talking to me. And like that, and then you look at Liam Hemsworth's face, and he has this giant, stupid smile on his face, and he has this arm around his fiance, and he's like, yeah, you're right, let's go fight more aliens. And you're like, you didn't fight, you guys flew around in a stupid thing with hands. It was like this claw ship thing. What are you doing? It's just let it go. The movie just should have. An alien should have come back and killed all of them right at the last minute, and it would have been
Final
great.
thought. Go ahead, Mark.
Look, I'll say that I think our biggest problem with this Independence Day is that you didn't have Will Smith. Why did we miss Will Smith? Because there's no personality in the movie. So as much as you did need human destruction in the film, and you needed to see some characters that we know eat it, and we also had to take some risks with the science fiction and trying to make the movie propel itself forward, the worst part about this film was the interaction of the characters, because that scene that I'm talking about, we don't care about them, thus we don't care about any of these other Earthlings that are dying, and look at us all talking about how we didn't care that Earth was saved. It might as well have been blown up. Why? Because everybody on this Earth is bland and pointless, encapsulated by Will Smith's kid and Liam Useless Hemsworth.
Doug, final thoughts?
Oh, what are you, Donald Trump, giving out the nicknames?
Useless.
Useless. That guy is useless.
You're useless,
He's the
Liam.
most useless of all the Hemsworths.
There's
We're
a
gonna
third.
build a wall to keep all the Hemsworths
There
out
is
of
a more
here.
useless Hemsworth. I think it's the third one.
Oh, what's that one called?
Anyway.
we could barely keep track of the first two.
Final thoughts, Doug.
I think the points should go to Mark.
All right.
Because I'm just going to say the same thing. It's the character. Everything about it's just too bland, and also I think his best point was that every new character in this movie, very like Force Awakens. Every new character is an enjoyable character,
right?
And every new character in this one is a complete miss. And like Goldblum, I like him even in this, even though his lines aren't good. I still like his attitude.
I've called around, but now I just have to talk because I hate the movie too. That scene where they show Will Smith's painting, right? Yeah. Why would you do that? It's like, wait.
Here's a quick reminder of what's not in this
movie. And then
movie.
they cut to the new guy, and he's so boring and bad. You're like, why did you remind me as you're introducing us to this new hero that just couldn't? He
was attached to the movie until
he was
after
the worst
Earth.
casting ever.
Remember the sappy part of the first one when they saved
They
that
fired him after Earth?
When After Earth came out, Will Smith was like, I don't want to do
No
any more
more
sci-fi.
space.
No more
Now we know
space.
Will Smith made the right call, I guess.
Yeah, man.
Dan,
He
really
did.
did.
brought down that movie, because if he'd have been in it,
He would have made it
even as
better.
garbage, it would have been better.
Oh, God.
A lot to add. Doug, I don't blame you for missing it. Technically, the character in the movie was Will Smith's stepson, not his son from the first movie. They just recast the role, so it was her son, Will Smith's stepson.
But he looked at Will as a dad.
He did.
But it's still the kid from the first movie.
It's just it's not their kid. It was the stepson.
The kid from the movie.
No, different actor.
What?
No, but I'm
actor
saying
from
in the
first
story, in the
Yes, it
canon
was
of
Dylan.
Independence Day, it's that little kid from the
It was
first movie.
Dylan from the first
God,
movie.
yeah.
They recast both the president's
of
daughter and Will
Independence
Smith's son. The movie ending line that Stephen referred to was, "We're gonna kick some serious alien ass." The last line of the movie. I'm surprised that, and this is the favorite on Twitter, and it was mine because I hated this movie just as much as all of you. I just happen to kind of love it too.
Yeah.
And my worst was Judd Hirsch's school bus adventure. That was the worst part of any movie that I've ever seen.
Why did they add that? Just kill him.
Those whiny kids
offered
showing
nothing.
up. Yeah, and those
I figured he was going to offer another flu type of moment, and he didn't even do it.
The eldest Hemsworth,
Gonna catch a cold.
as Chris pointed out, is Luke Hemsworth. He's 35 years old. Luke Hemsworth is the eldest Hemsworth brother. And at Omar Lore 3 is somewhat right on Twitter. It would have been a cool twist if Dan enjoyed Independence Day as a dumb movie, but Andy hated it completely. That's kind of the case.
We did, so we'll have to do that in a later episode.
Yeah, that's kind of the case. And as always, the poll was out on the Screen Junkies Twitter if you didn't vote, and I'll have the results for you after.
All right,
you
I think sadly Doug helped Mark get the point. That's where I was leaning anyway. Mark gets the point.
Even the dog was ugly in this
Can I
one.
pitch what the ending should have been, though?
Yeah, please.
That white ball thing, after they stopped and killed all the aliens, I wanted the ball to go, the humans did it, now invade. Like the ball was screwing with them to wipe out the aliens.
Ball was a Trojan ball.
Wouldn't that have been a cool thing? Like,
Trojan
oh, we
ball.
got the dumb humans to kill these stupid insects. Now we can really attack.
You know what?
That would have been so much better.
They even had, they even had a line in that movie where someone who they met the ball and said, "Oh, this better not be some kind of Trojan horse sort of thing."
Yeah.
So it would have set it up.
Trojan testicle.
I would have actually liked that. I wouldn't want to have seen it again, but at least it would have been a clever ending.
It really felt like they were
That was
trying.
worth the 20 minutes we just spent. just shit on it.
I really felt like I just watched Starship Troopers recently.
Oh,
and,
so much better.
Oh my god, by like leaps and bounds better. And it's like they tried to steal little pieces of Starship Troopers to kind of throw in there.
Yeah,
and
they
they're
did.
like,
But there's so many reasons. It's also just the time has changed. It just doesn't. If they released this in '97, I think I would have liked it more.
sure.
Round two.
The
poll results.
The poll results. Almost a clear majority. 48% said the end of the movie was the worst part.
I agree with that.
27% said that Dylan's failure to save his mother, and 25%
That was a terrible
cited
scene.
Mark. So Mark actually came in third on our Twitter.
I hate when they're so
That's life.
slow to get in the plane. Take them. Just all jump into the goddamn helicopter.
Yep, I'll take that moral victory.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
I did the right thing and threw my weight behind Mark.
Round two. Here we go. Nicholas Winding. How do you say his last name?
Refn.
Refn? Is that
Winding
right?
Refn.
That's what I've been told.
Winding Refn. Said he wouldn't mind doing a Batgirl movie. So Brent J on Twitter wants us to cast a new actress and pitch a Batgirl movie. What do we want to see? Who's going to be Batgirl? Mark, you're starting this time.
I'm going to kick off with Macy Williams. If you don't know that actress's name, you probably know Arya Stark from Game of Thrones. Arya is such a great character because you have a connection to her. She's a kid you root for, but she also can turn into a psychopath with a moment's notice. She can stab people. She's great at action. She can run fast, as we all saw from the last season of Game of Thrones. And so if she assumes the mantle, she would be Stephanie Brown, because she picked up the mantle after Barbara Gordon succeeded it to her. I believe that's how it works in the comic books. And in Nicholas Winding Refn's movie, it's going to work perfectly because a lot like what Arya Stark went through, this one will be hellbent on revenge after the Joker has paralyzed the previous Batgirl. So she's friends with Batgirl. Batgirl took her under her wing, and now she has to pick up where the other Batgirl left off because the Joker did something evil, and Macy Williams is going to be the best Batgirl you could possibly have. Nikki, Caster.
Steven?
All right.
You call Nicholas Winding Refn Nicky?
They're
Little
close
Nicky.
like that, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Lil Nicky.
I call him Little Reffy. Little Ref.
All right, I'm going with Selena Gomez. Selena Gomez, I think, would be a terrific Batgirl. She's got an enormous fan base. I don't know. She's a very sweet girl. I don't know if you've seen Fundamentals of Caring with Paul Rudd that's on Netflix right now. She's fantastic in it. Great acting skills, and I think she would do really well as Batgirl. Here is my plot. Here's my pitch. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. During the hottest summer on record, Barbara Gordon, played by Selena Gomez, is sick and tired of watching her father, the police commissioner, played by Edward James Olmos, do nothing to stop the rising tide of crime in Gotham and the massive power outages plaguing the city. So she becomes Batgirl and takes on Firefly, played by Chris Tucker, Clayface, played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and of course Livewire, played by Kat Dennings, who is stealing all the energy from the city to create a cataclysmic explosion, just like she does in real life on her TV show. That's what I'm going with. Selena Gomez.
Doug.
It's nothing like a bunch of men talking about young girls
in
and why they would cast them in a movie. And I might have gone with the youngest. I don't know how old Maisie is, but my choice is Elle Fanning, because I just think I've just always been impressed with her as an actress, and she's still pretty young, and could step into it early, which I think is important because you want to make a bunch of these. And I liked her. I've enjoyed her versatility. Like in Super 8, she was the best performance in that movie. And I know Spielberg is good with kids, but she seemed to have like a otherworldly kind of abilities in that movie. And then like Somewhere with Stephen Dorff, if you can hang out with Stephen Dorff for any period of time, you'd probably be a great Batgirl. And she's innocent, but also has that side to her where she can play a character like that, like someone with a dark past and a reason for revenge.
All right, guys.
Elle Fanning.
Fight it out.
Fight. All right, look, Maisie Williams, although a great actress, is a star from Game of Thrones. Is that correct?
Yes, that's what the gentleman said when he suggested her.
That's what everybody knows her from. But the young people, the young people who tune in to go and watch these films, I believe it would have a longer. I think we could do more Batgirl films and have her around longer if we started with a celebrity type person who maybe has a younger fan base than somebody who where most of their fans are.
Yeah, you want to get the Spring Breakers crowd to come.
Right.
The people that love Selena Gomez and that.
Right.
She has no track record as an actress in things. Like I don't think people would go necessarily just because she's in it. And also, I liked when you called her in the description of why she'd be good. You called her sweet.
Well, she's just
a sweet girl.
She seems like a very sweet girl.
This shot. She should be Batgirl because she's so sweet. She's such a sweet little cutie. Like, doesn't she have to have I've seen her in her own video and in a Taylor Swift video, kicking people and fighting and stuff.
Right.
And I don't know. For some reason, I'm just not buying it.
Yeah, I can't say I'm buying Selena Gomez or Elle Fanning. I think Elle Fanning hasn't proven to me that she has action chops, where she does a lot of running at the end of Super 8. But with Selena Gomez, I mean,
Somewhere she ice skates, she plays tennis, she waits for her dad to stop watching strippers.
She has a puff of Stephen Dorff's e-cigarette.
Yeah.
But see, the issue with Selena I have is that you're stunt casting now, and that your movie is taking place clearly outside of the DC universe that they're building. What you want to have is a Batgirl that fits into that, because that's Nicholas Winding Refn's tone, is that he's going to make it dark and brooding. So it's not going to be fun and happy with the Selena Gomez crowd. Selena Gomez has some action chops. She was fine in Journey to the Center of I'll Be in Rehab by the time I'm 22. But with Maisie Williams, you're starting younger, and you're earning a track record of Batgirl watching this superhero develop. It's so important to have somebody young who has action chops, because you can watch their origin story matriculate, and it fits within the context of the current DC universe, because I could totally believe that she's friends with Barbara Gordon, who would be the daughter of J.K. Simmons, who's playing Commissioner Gordon going forward.
But a lot of times it's hard for an actor that's got such a memorable and specific role like hers in Game of Thrones to take on another role and be accepted in other things, and especially also the leap from television to movies is hard for people to make sometimes. And I know Game of Thrones is more movie-like than most TV, but it's still television.
It's very cinematic.
They like to say it's HBO, but it's television. It's on HBO.
Yeah, but I feel like Elle Fanning is she's a great actress, but I feel like she's a little frail for.
I don't get frailness from her, and she's already worked with Nicky Refn because she's in his most recent film, The Neon Demon, and from what I hear, haven't seen it yet because I'm not a pervert, but
allowed to see that movie?
Well, no, it just sounds it sounds very creepy. I mean, it's got his typical dark thing going on, but also it feels like he puts her through stuff that you might not want to watch a 16-year-old do.
It's like Dakota Fanning in that other movie.
In anything she was ever in.
Yeah, I mean,
Dakota Fanning got real white trash, which is another thing I like about Ellis. She seems so, to coin a word, elegant.
she seems a little more classy.
Oh my God.
She's very classy. That's why when she's not in the Batgirl getup, she'll be a very put together girl that seems smart and has her S together. And then she puts on the Batgirl thing and goes crazy and beats people up. Because also of those three, I think she'd look the best with the bat cowl on. I think she would look the hottest, so to speak, because we are talking about children.
We are talking about little kids.
But Batgirl's always been a sexy character. You know, when you're a teenager, Batgirl's
that's
pretty
why I
hot
think
girl.
you take a Disney star like Selena Gomez, you know, and you throw her in this Batgirl costume, and you let her spring break it up a little bit. I think that could be really cool.
Well,
I think
in
she
Spring
could do a
Break,
great
of
job.
course, she was the character that went home crying.
Right, of course.
So you gotta keep that in mind. No
that's true.
superhero behavior there.
Last thoughts, Stephen?
I think that Selena Gomez is a terrific actress. I'd like to see her given a shot to be part of the DC universe.
I think that Selena Gomez, first of all, she's from Disney, so that's going to be a contract nightmare trying to get her away from the Marvel people over to DC. Plus, it's stunt casting. With Elle Fanning, she's too frail, and she's an indie darling based with an indie director. That doesn't work, as Neon Demon's box office receipts will tell you. You want somebody that has a built-in fan base for being action-y. That's who Maisie Williams is. She can drop her accent, and all of a sudden we detach her enough from Game of Thrones, but the fans still know that Arya Stark is coming to play. She looks the best in the Batgirl costume. Never go trick-or-treating at either Glickman or Doug Benson's house, ladies.
Hurtful. So hurtful.
Final thought, Doug?
I don't have a house. I don't want to go negative on on your girls, Daisy and Serena. What I want to talk about is specifically Elle Fanning in Super 8, the scene where where they say, "Can you play a zombie?" and she pretends to be the living dead for a second, and then they say, "Okay, great," and then she goes back to being her. Is one of the most intricate acting, twists I've seen in a woman that young in all of my movie-going experience, and that particular moment is what I will cite as the reason why I think she'd be a great Batgirl.
All right, Dan, anything to add?
Super 8 was J.J. Abrams' movie. A lot of people do think it is a Spielberg movie because it is very, very reminiscent of a Spielberg movie. Dakota Fanning was directed by Spielberg in War of the Worlds. Popular pick on Twitter, I think because she's done this sort of thing before in Kick-Ass, was Chloe Grace Moretz. A lot of people thought that
She's aging out of that already, I
a lot of people thought. And as far as age goes, Elle Fanning, 18, Maisie Williams, 19, Selena Gomez, 23. So they're all in the same,
Maisie Williams is 19?
18 to 23. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're all in the
But
same
they're all
general.
over 18 guys, so we did all right here.
Who wins at the end of the day? These guys.
We do.
I just meant that they're all in the same general age range.
Yeah.
18 to 25.
We know what you meant, Dan.
All right.
A 5-year age range.
Super 8 was produced by Spielberg as well.
Yeah,
just
indeed.
Based on the arguments, Glickman's out.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't sell me on your end, and I think Mark and Doug have had a stronger art case there.
Oh, man.
So it came down to sort of the obvious choice, but I think that's fine. You made good points as to why. Selling, blah, blah, blah. And then Doug sort of really went with sort of a not obvious choice, but the acting chops, etc. Oh, man, this is tough. I said that genuinely, too. This is tough. You got that. That was that real one. I didn't even realize I said it until after I said it. Ah, man.
You can give it to Doug. Doug gave me a point. Give it to Doug. Let's have a game here,
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Mark, wow.
Give it to
Mark just
Doug.
gave it in. I was about to give it to Mark, but when you give it up,
And
Doug
give the
gets
next
it.
point to Steven.
Well, let's not get crazy.
Thank you.
Let's not go off the
bunch of-
rails.
That is usually a rule. If a player gives up, they give up a point. All right. Doug is on the board. It was a close one. All right. Round 3.
Maisie Williams, by the way.
That's what I figured. I was about to
the
give it to
winner
Maisie Williams. If I
of,
just shut up for like 10 seconds. 2 seconds, really.
No,
you would have
it's
gotten 2 points
It's a
out the
good
gate.
game.
Round 3. This one, speaking of Spielberg, the BFG opens. So Sean Lindsay on Twitter, Lindsay65, asked us, what is the best movie based on a children's book? Steven, it's your turn.
I'm going with the Harry Potter series. Those
Pick a movie.
All right. I'll go with Sorcerer's Stone.
That's the first one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll say that, casting wise, script wise, and just the actual look and texture of that film in comparison to. To how a lot of other books to films become. I think that's a really phenomenal. I think it's a really phenomenal book to film, and I mean it really holds up. Those first movies, they have all out. They're all incredible, and everybody that was cast in that movie and worked in those movies really represented those characters, and the script was so close to the book. I think they really knocked it out of the park.
Doug.
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. The original, not going Tim Burton road. The original with the great Gene Wilder. One of my favorite books and movies as a child because it sort of has everything in it. It's hilarious and has lessons to be learned. It's musical, so there's the Oompa Loompas dancing around and singing, and just like it's the kind of movie when I was a kid, my parents watched it too, and they enjoyed it. Like it's based on a children's book, but works for everybody and has a real nasty side to it, which is also super fun.
Mark.
I'm taking the movie that without this release in 1939, we wouldn't be talking about any of these movies, and that would be The Wizard of Oz. It's an all-time classic, and how many pieces of art that were made in 2016 can you say are still going to be popular almost 90 years, 80 years later? That's The Wizard of Oz, and it's because it teaches so many great lessons for kids, and it's a fun adventure for them to take on. So if they want to glean something from it, they can, or if you just want to sit your kid in front of the TV and know that they're not going to go anywhere because they're going to be so transfixed, both in Kansas and when we go to Oz. It teaches kids important lessons like Dorothy learning how to be friends with people that might be different than her. It certainly teaches great pet care, as she always has her trusty dog Toto right there with her. And of course, it teaches us that there can be bad witches, but there can also be good witches, so there's a little bit of a surprise factor as well. You can journey as far away and all over this great land of ours. You can go all over the earth, but there's no place like home. It's a great lesson for kids to learn that you need to plant roots before you can soar off and find your dreams.
All right, fight it out, guys.
I'm tired from saying that.
First of all, those movies are stupid.
You got us there, Benson.
There's no arguing that we've all chosen movies probably amongst the best movies made from children's books, and now it just comes down to who can be most convincing about it.
That's how the game works.
Is that how the game works?
So I'll start with when you said series, he made you pick one, and I think you picked arguably one that's in the bottom half if you rank them all.
Sure.
So it started off on kind of shaky footing. I think they got really lucky with the casting as the movies kept being made, because any one of those little kids could grow up to be like just a terrible actor and just a big thorn in everybody's side, because especially the three main kids have to be in every Harry Potter movie.
Sure.
I mean, I guess they could replace an actor if they had to, like they could bump out Katie Holmes for what's her name, Gyllenhaal. But I digress. You guys go ahead and make some points.
Look. I'm a huge Wizard of Oz fan. I'm a big fan of the books and a big fan of the film. The film has so little to do with how that book was written. There is a lot of really phenomenal things that happen in that movie, and the lessons, sure, the general idea is there, but they invented a lot of things for that film, and they cast it way older than what it was supposed to be.
Judy Garland was 42.
She was 42 years old.
And
That's a
the
young
Wicked
42.
Witch was 17. It was all topsy-turvy.
There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff in that film that is nowhere close to what the book was. And
I'll say the boat ride in the Chocolate Factory and the flying monkeys in Wizard of Oz bring much more terror to children, and that's a good thing.
Yes.
Than the first Harry Potter movie.
And look,
I agree with you about that.
I agree that kids need some sort of frights because they need to grow up and learn what scary things are and to be afraid of some things. I think The Wicked Witch of the West and the Flying Monkeys do that in a way that children can still go to bed at the end of the night. The tunnel scene in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Not to mention the fact that in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, kids get picked off one by one.
Right.
Augustus
For
Gloop
being
eats
horrible, for
himself
doing
to
horrible
death
things.
and drowns.
Yeah.
And so while Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is all about Charlie Bucket
They do
looking at all
imply that
these
they all live.
losers, and there's no coming together in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It's all these kids going all over the place, and then just one poor kid left. The Wizard of Oz is about coming together, different people from different backgrounds.
But Willy Wonka and the Chocolate
forces.
Factory, they actually fly out of the roof in an elevator, and Charlie gets the Chocolate Factory, and he doesn't wake up realizing the whole thing was a dream. The dream twist
I'm
in
with you
Wizard
on
of
that.
Oz shut down all the potential for all the books. They just got greedy with that thing.
Absolutely.
They had to Shyamalan it before that was ever even a thing. And Wizard of Oz is a great movie, but also to me, the songs in Wizard of Oz are like very skippable. They're very annoying, and I guess so. You could say that about Willy Wonka too.
As opposed to the Oompa Loompas who were just giving you commands like a short military command. Like they're little orange drill sergeants. And the worst thing about Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is that the whole goal of that movie is to get candy. It's a horrible lesson for kids to learn.
No,
that sugar
he
is the
wins
key
because
to
he
happiness.
gives back the candy. You have missed the point of the
He
movie, sir.
stole fizzy
I
lifting
said
drinks.
good day, sir.
I was waiting for someone to do it.
Look, the Harry Potter films really. I mean, I know
They
that we're,
really. You're right.
Yeah, no, I know that we're only supposed to talk about one, but those.
Yeah, you're disqualified, Glickman, and this was supposed to be your point.
We're talking about one. I'm talking about one. All right, the first film. The reason that film is important, the reason why that first book is important, is because you have these kids who feel like they're like outcasts, like they don't have any place to go, that they're not loved by their family, they're not loved by their friends, and so they're able to find a place where they finally, fit in and they finally belong. And that was the original kind of concept around that film, especially around the first film, and then the series kind of takes off from there. But if we're talking about based on a book and to the T,
You're not making this movie sound fun at all.
It is. It's
You're
a
just
great.
The
saying
question
it's
is
great.
best movie based on a children's book. Go ahead.
Yeah. So if we're talking about how it's closely based on a book, then Harry Potter is definitely the closest.
It's the most based.
It's the most based.
So it wins
The least
because
changes.
the screenwriter adapted the most amount of words from the pages. That's not the question. The question is, what is the best movie? And The Wizard of Oz is hailed as an all-time classic. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone kicked off a great franchise, but is maybe the 5th best film in said franchise. And Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is very magical, and I love that movie, but it's horrible lessons for kids to learn. And they're going to keep this stuff the rest of their life.
The lessons are don't be gross with your gum, don't eat too much. They're all great lessons. What are the horrible lessons in there?
Is it come with me and you'll see a world of pure diabetes, a world of pure cavities. You're going to fall into a chocolate river.
Everyone loves
Bad
candy,
things happen
dude.
to kids.
Candy's a good thing. I'm off sugar though, so I can't really argue that too much.
Totally?
All three of these movies, not totally, I drink vodka, but all three of these movies are regular staples on ABC Family. So we're clearly talking about three movies that are generally considered to be classics. So it's Andy has a very tough choice ahead of him.
All right. Last thought. Quickly, one line. End me with. Steven?
All right, I would say this. I think, all in all, even in just the first film of the Harry Potter series, some of the best cast, some of the best actors we've ever seen on screen.
Mr. Potter.
Phenomenal, and they have affected the whole world. And I think that particular film has changed a lot of people's lives and has made a lot of people. I think it's
a lot of people found sorcery through that movie.
I think a lot of people felt like they weren't alone in the world because of that movie.
Mark?
The Wizard of Oz is one of the best endings of all time because it teaches kids that there is something over the rainbow that you can dare to dream, but there's always going to be a place for you at your home. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory ends with a 6-year-old getting the keys to a kingdom he has no capability of running. All his parents are going to die soon if they aren't already dead.
You think Wonka was going to peace out immediately? He'd
That's
show
what
him
he
how to
said.
run it.
No! At the end, an elevator
Get after credits, Dan. Can we make it out?
An elevator shoots him and his grandpa out of the top of the
I think
building.
they might all die, which is another thing I like about that movie.
If I was at the end of Willy Wonka, I would have hoped I could click my heels and it was all a dream and just wake up in my
help
bed.
write that one. That's
There's
a good
no
one.
better ending than getting to go back to a dull black and white world. And my final thought is, Andy Signore, if you had to go home tonight and watch one of these movies, which one are you gonna watch?
Ooh, all right. Dan, anything to add while I consider that?
Yes. Sorry, very quickly. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, as our fans in the UK have pointed out, known there as Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. It was changed because Americans are dummies, and they didn't think that kids, is this true, would want to read a book with the word philosopher in the title.
Philosophy. Who's philosophizing?
They thought that philosopher was too large of a word. So
Sorcerer's as many letters.
Sounds cooler, though.
exactly.
Sounds like a Nicolas Cage movie.
Twitter's choice for Harry Potter movie largely seems to be Prisoner of Azkaban, Stephen. They wish that you had chosen that one.
All right.
Lots of love for the never-ending story. Lots of love for Holes, actually. Lots of love for Matilda.
holes.
And
I love holes.
Yeah, and I have, of
doesn't
course,
love
have the
holes?
poll results, Andy, which I will share with you after you announce your judgment.
God, the question is the best movie based on a children's book, but still the best movie. I gotta give it to Mark.
I'll take
Very
it.
close
Thank
between
you.
Mark and Doug. I think Steven, you picked the wrong one.
Really?
If you picked Azkaban, you
Best
might have won.
casting, best movie. I didn't hear enough as to why it's the best movie.
I think. Sorry, I was going to say something. I think Stephen missed out on one little point. Is that his movie is the only one that had actually good sequels after it.
Yeah, he didn't call it up.
Wizard of
But
Oz
I
had
gotta factor the
Oz.
movie, not the sequels.
Yeah.
Dan, what was the poll?
That's successful.
I know this is going to shock you, but the internet picked Harry Potter.
Yeah. Saw that coming.
Did it say Harry Potter or did it say the first?
Harry Potter, Sorcerer's Stone, 45%. Willy Wonka and Wizard of Oz, basically tied.
Okay. That's
So
fair.
deal with that.
All right, question 4. Here we
People
go.
like
This
the
should-
one that's the least scary.
I know.
This should be fun. Ready? The Legend of Tarzan takes Tarzan out of the jungle and into the modern world. Is anyone going to see this movie?
I saw it.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Is it good?
It's not great. It's better. It's so much better than Independence Day Resurgence. You will not be texting during this movie,
All
my
right.
friend.
Fair enough.
Is it better than Batman versus Superman?
It's
Wow.
I schmoed it 1.1 less. I gave Batman v Superman 2.9. I gave this one 2.8 out of 5 schmoes.
Because that's how, if somebody says something's worse than BVS, then I'm out. I'm not going to go see it.
You might not want to check out the
You
one.
should, I want to watch you watch the extended cut.
Dude,
I almost made you.
I heard it's
he
better.
was asking me yesterday, do you want to watch Independence Day or the extended cut of BVS? And I'm like, I don't want to see either of those things. But I settled for Independence Day because I knew it would be bad, but not make me angry.
Yeah.
Because these people that are saying the 3-hour cut makes it a better movie, that's insane. Like I could see
It
where it would
explains more.
explain more,
It explains
but I don't
more.
need more explained. I need entertainment in my first
doesn't-
go round.
It doesn't add entertainment.
I need you
it
to
adds
take. If
explanation.
you take Martha out of it, I'll watch it. If you're just adding more stuff, but you still have the
or
Martha
the Jolly
thing.
Rancher scene, couldn't they have at
Can't.
least remove that? This anyway, sorry.
Yeah, I bet they
we're
don't take
getting a lot of
out
hate on
any of
this.
the things we didn't like.
All right, but
just
so
more stuff.
Tangent aside, choose a movie with a legendary character and place them in a completely different setting. Make sense, guys? This is a fun one. Haha, Doug, have some fun.
Sound like a dad on a road trip. Okay,
Have
kids.
some fun, kids.
Fun town.
I think there's a lot of fun to be had with this character. A lot of people maybe fear this character, and that's part of where the fun comes from in putting this character in a new environment. This project is called Predator, Lost in New York. And it is a musical.
Oh,
Because the only way the Predator could fit in New York was to start a band. And you know, this may be racist to say, but it's a reggae band. And he uses that to try to assimilate into society, but people are just terrified of the Predator. And you can imagine the hilarity and the songs that could ensue.
I'm gonna expect at least one song title when I come back
Okay,
to you.
that's fair.
Mark Ellis.
I don't hate that idea until Predator tries to go Iggy Pop, cuts himself on stage, and then the front row gets melted by his acid
Sounds
blood.
kind of great.
You're helping me, buddy.
I'm also taking a character who you might not expect and putting them onto the stage. I am taking Norman Bates, everybody's favorite son from Psycho, and he is going to become an up-and-coming stand-up comedian. The reason why is because, as all three of us can attest to, comedy sometimes comes from a dark place. Norman Bates is very dark, and you always have some upbringing issues with a lot of comedians. A lot of their parents were either divorced, or they were single parents, or they were orphans, or something was wrong in their upbringing. Clearly, that was the case with Norman Bates. So what if he channeled his energy into telling jokes, a la he'd have a slower, more ride delivery, like a Stephen Wright or a Doug Benson when he's on stage, and then that would channel all of his anger, all of his creepy witticisms into something more positive than stabbing people at Bates Motel. But what adventures we would have with an up-and-coming comic on the road who has proclivities to being a serial killer. Will he be able to keep those demons at bay, or will he slay the audience both on stage and afterwards?
Wow.
Steven.
All right. Look, I know everybody's up in arms right now over this new Ghostbusters movie. You know, everybody's got a lot of feelings about it. And that's understandable. It's okay to have feelings. Now, I am a big fan of the original Ghostbusters, which is why I believe it would be a great movie to take the original cast of Ghostbusters and plop them into The Conjuring 2. Maybe Conjuring 3. It'd be maybe for Conjuring 3.
A Conjuring, okay.
A Conjuring. For a Conjuring. There we go. There they are. That's the idea. And, they just bring some, they go up against Ed and Lorraine Warren, right? And they have to compete to see who's going to kill more ghosts. And they're, they bring some comedy to it, man. Bring some laughs to the Conjuring, to the horrible Conjuring. I think that would be great.
All right, guys, let's hear it out.
See, I like the idea of Norman Bates as a comic because I like when you explore the darker side of entertainment, the darker side of fame. Something like The Fan or something like Big Fan, starring another great comedian, Patton Oswalt, where you really get inside. You get to see what's inside a darker person's head. With the Ghostbusters and The Conjuring, you're taking away the best part of the Ghostbusters, which is their sense of humor. Or if you put comedy in there, you're just taking away the best part about The Conjuring, which is the scares that come. It dulls the effect of what the film is doing. And with Predator as a musical, I think it's a funny sketch, but it's hard for me to be able to see that as a 90 or 2 hour minute film where, again, the Predator, what he does great is killing people and not communicating. All of a sudden, he's going to be in a band. Is he playing the drums? I mean, does he actually have to talk?
No, he's the front man, and it's tough for him. That's the part. That's the whole point of it, is that people are frightened of him, they're confused by him, and he doesn't know how to fit into the world. It's like when they bring King Kong to New York, it's just a mess because people just don't understand. There's still a lot of people out there that hate Battlefield Earth, so they blame him for that. He had nothing to do with it. He didn't choose John Travolta's hairstyle, but he's out there trying to make it work. He starts a band called Predator and His Kill. The rest of the bandmates are called End His Kill, and it could be pretty hilarious. I think watching him.
So it is a comedy.
Spray acid on the crowd. He could be, sing a song called "Singing in the Pain" while he, sprays down people, and then, it's hard for him to find gigs when he does that to the crowd, because the club doesn't want to have him back.
Does he talk like Predator 2 style at the end?
Well, if we want to be canon about it, then yes, that's what he sounds like. And I don't know what's going on with that Ghostbusters Conjuring thing. I think this was a tough question, to be honest with you, and I think Stephen, I don't know what that answer means. I can't even begin to picture that movie. But maybe I'm so excited about this new one with the ladies, because the ladies are the best.
Hey, I love ladies just like anybody else.
Are you mad about this one?
No, I like ladies.
Okay, so this isn't...
I love Leslie Jones.
You're not trying to get back at them with this new idea for Ghostbusters, because they haven't had their shot
yet.
How
about this? Welcome them to this film. It'll be 3 Ghostbusters teams.
You lose.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, no.
I'm kidding.
Kristen Wiig could play drama.
Yeah, there you go.
She's good at that.
She's terrific. I don't think they have to play drama. I think...
It just sounds more scary or more dramatic or something. It's got to be more something.
Honestly, I think you take the actual style of those Conjuring films and you drop comedy people into them, and it would be absolutely hysterical. Because it's set, the tone is so dark in those Conjuring films, and they're so serious, and there's so little
is it
laughs.
Like scary
but
movie?
if they're saying funny things all the time, then how scary could it be? Like, the comedy would be too much. It would be too much comedy relief if you put those people in there.
Oh, I think
the movie can't be scary at all, really. I mean, I can't wait to see this Ghostbusters because I hear it's scarier than the original Ghostbusters. And Paul Feig, obviously, he knows how to handle violence and stuff. So maybe it will have some pretty edgy things in there. But I don't know about that, man. I think that it seems like there's be too much comedy.
Which Hemsworth is in this new one?
It's
Chris.
Chris.
Oh, it's Chris.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then it might be okay.
The best one. Yeah.
And they show too much of what his character arc in the trailer, in my opinion.
And I'm looking forward to the new Ghostbusters movie with trepidation, the same way I would be walking into either one of y'all's movies. I don't think that Predator in New York could sustain itself for a full 3-act movie, and I don't think that Ghostbusters works in a Conjuring universe because they're so opposed to each other that I don't want to see those guys be serious, and I don't want to see The Conjuring not be scary. We've never gotten a
Norman
true...
Bates, that's a sketch. That's just
Norman
one joke.
Bates
like he just take my mom, she's dead. Like, what kind of things is he going to say on stage? And why would that sustain itself for an entire
movie? He can get very dark. Look, the 2 things that sell the most on Netflix right now are true crime, which is clearly
Tell
something...
me the story, though. What's happening?
Norman Norman Bates, after leaving the Bates Motel, he decides to go on the road and he starts telling jokes, and because he needs to somehow get his sins out there in the public. So actually, when he's confessing his sins, the audience thinks it's a joke. They think it's a dark comic who's talking about all these weird things, and he starts to gain some fame. How does he handle the fame? Does the fame make him a better person? Does he start to want to atone for his sins? Or does it make him like a Dexter, which is another very popular show where he can kill at night and then he can also go do stand-up, and maybe sometimes he mixes the two up and he can't figure out what's going on in his twisted head. He's still trying to please his mom, like what a lot of comics are trying to do. So you get a dark exploration into his pathos, and you also get stand-up comedy from a very unintentional source.
All right, so hang on,
It's got
Mark.
kind of
So
an American Psycho vibe
Wait,
to
so
it.
Mark,
doesn't
you're
it?
saying that you're
Great
saying,
movie.
Mark, you're saying that Norman Bates can get a booking agent for the road, but I can't. Is what you're saying?
Hey, look, start killing
you
people. Start killing people,
Have
kid.
something interesting to talk about on stage.
Right.
What's
like
wrong with you?
Like murdering parents. And
Yeah.
things. There we go. All right.
You're on stage going, I love Selena Gomez. I don't know why I gave you that voice. You don't sound like that at all.
I'm just trying to
Horrible.
understand your tone. so, Steven, you're pitching a scary movie-esque Ghostbusters
Yes.
in that zone.
Yes.
Mark, you're
Scary
pitching
movie,
Louis
Ghostbusters.
meets Dexter.
It's a dark character study, yes, sir.
And then Doug, you're just pitching. Is it a comedy? Is it just zany? I'm still a little confused in the tone
It's
of
a
it.
fun film, but it's it's also the Predator is not unlike Kevin McAllister. He is lost in
booby
New
traps.
York. He needs help. He needs to meet like a pigeon lady in the park or something.
Oh my God.
Played by Gary Busey.
All right, Dan.
Yes. Well, I mean, just a quick note. The Predator does not have acid blood. That would be the xenomorph from the Aliens.
there you go.
The Predator has like the highlighter blood, the kind of glow in the dark.
Oh, that's
I was
fun
just
for
about to
if
say
he does
that.
a rave show.
Exactly. And
What does the Predator say at the end of Predator 2?
Something like "You take this" or something like that. I guess the guy the old timey gun
Gives
for
Danny
some
Glover
reason.
an old gun.
I don't get
Out
it.
of respect.
And then you see the alien skull in the background. Pretty cool stuff.
I've never seen Predator 2.
And for
so.
people saying that Predator, that Doug's pitch was too similar to Predator 2. Predator 2 was set in Los Angeles. Doug
there
clearly
you
stated
go.
that his was set in New York.
Yeah.
Boston, New York. That's
Yeah,
fine.
exactly.
That's fair.
As any comic knows, different. Norman Bates is going to find out. Two very different audiences.
And of course, there's the Twitter poll, which I will share.
I think I gotta give it to Mark.
Norman Bates. Here's the end of the movie. I just figured it out.
I mean, I don't want to see any of them, but I just wish you had committed, because when you said the pigeon ladies in it, you gave up. Doug.
I didn't even know. You know that normally you
if you
say,
had said you
does
had, like, a
everybody
grizzled
have a
cop
last?
with them.
You didn't say what's your last thought before I said
sorry.
that.
Well,
you were
sometimes
just
you gotta
weird.
pitch it out
we
there
were
early.
still
You
just
can't wait
chatting.
for it.
I got the end of the movie is him auditioning for SNL, and his first character that he does is his mom.
All right. Well, based on those pitches, Mark won for me. Dan, any poll there?
The poll, Conjuring with Ghostbusters won the poll. Predator musical was second.
You win the poll
I'm
every
winning
time.
the polls every
Norman
time.
Bates was
Just so we're on the same
Every
page.
time it's the opposite.
It's the opposite.
What you decide is not what the people feel.
In our
still
little
the
10 Cloverfield Lane bunker, I'm winning, but out there in the real world, I'm getting my
I
ass
liked Mark's
kicked.
argument against
Thank you
yours,
very
though, Stephen, because it's like I want either the scary or the comedy. It was a kind of a weird hybrid, so that's where it didn't connect. And Mark saying that also helped me reason of why I said. All right, round 5.
I'm sorry.
So this means Mark,
it's fine.
you're really in the lead. You have 3 points, so you're
Commanding
definitely in. Doug has 1, so if Steven gets 1, we'll have to have a tiebreaker.
Okay.
If Doug gets it, he's automatically in. All right, so this one matters.
Am I fighting in this one?
I mean, you don't have to.
I want to.
Yeah.
I like my choice for this
Okay.
one.
I don't think anyone's ever made a 4 points until then. It's possible. Round 5. Here we go. Tyrese Gibson has confirmed his involvement in Transformers 5. I know we're all excited about Transformers 5, and this cast list is getting better and better. So that begged the question: what actor would have to join the cast to potentially make us actually see this movie and be excited for it? So you got to pick an actor and tell me how that's going to help us finally, because I think we're just admitting we don't really care about this Transformers movies anymore. Mark, who would you need to put in it to say, all right, I might check that out?
Well, Andy, I mean, you can look out there in the actor and actress landscape, and sure, there's a lot of talent you could put in Transformers, but we've tried that before and it hasn't really worked. So we need to get somebody out of retirement and put them back on the big screen. That is none other than Mr. Sean Connery. You put him in Transformers. Why? Because he was in the one great Michael Bay movie that everybody can agree on, The
That's
Rock.
right. Isn't that crazy? Michael Bay directed Sean Connery.
He directed him in The Rock, and he was great in The Rock. So Sean Connery, because like if you put somebody who's our age and fighting against the Transformers, who cares? But Sean Connery adds something that you've never seen in a Transformers film before, because he adds another generation, the greatest generation of class. So maybe he has some insight into how to handle these Decepticons this time around. We always go with the young people. They have no idea. Have you ever met a young person? They're idiots. Sean Connery is somebody who can come to play because he's got experience and he's got old man strength. I think he's got one more in him, and it's going to be in this new Transformers flick.
All right, Steven, who are you putting in this movie to get us excited?
All right, here's my plan. All right, there's been too many Transformers movies, and there's been too many Fast and the Furious movies. That's why I'm putting Vin Diesel in. All right, he already works with Tyrese. We can literally just merge these two films together.
So he's playing Dom.
He's playing Dom from Fast and Furious.
Family.
In this movie. So now it's Too Fast, Too Furious, Too Transform. All right, that's the movie. All right, you get everyone from that. You can bring in other people from the cast if you want to, but I really feel like it is Dom from Fast and Furious. You merge those characters together, and it'd be badass, man. It'd be a badass movie with a badass actor.
Doug, who are you picking?
Well, I mean, Sean Connery, I don't know if him being retired counts for anything, but he is.
He is.
Still active in motion pictures, still tremendous at drama and comedy, but will bring the comedy to Transformers that they've always wanted. With LaBeouf and Wahlberg and T.J. Miller, they've always been doing comedy in the Transformers movies. Sure. So let's just go full comedy and cast Bill Murray.
All right.
Yeah, get Bill Murray in there. And it would be like being able to see another Ghostbusters movie without Bill Murray having to go back and do another Ghostbusters movie. Because that's been the big holdup, I guess, for all this time. Now they finally have these girls making one. And he's like, I'll do a cameo in that, because I guess he's not Venkman in it. So I'd love to just see a Transformers movie where the comedy actually works. And we've already seen Bill Murray fighting something that's, hard to... that's dangerous and scary, and but also still manage to get laughs in the process. So that's my choice.
All right, guys.
See, I feel like with the casting of Gerard Carmichael, they already have a great comedic presence in the new Transformers movie.
Oh,
and
you're up on the casting.
Oh, wow.
I read the trades. Gerard Carmichael.
Gerard
Yeah.
Carmichael's
From
in
the-
the... Oh, from
Very funny
Carmichael
comic,
show?
yeah.
Carmichael show,
He
yes.
is super funny and dry.
That's right.
But oh my God, him and Bill Murray together, that's as dry as it gets.
But see, when Bill Murray's in a movie now, it doesn't make news, and nobody's a bigger Bill Murray fan than I am. But like Rock the Casbah.
You're right, Ghostbusters, the new one, isn't in the news at all, or his participation in it.
No, but I mean,
Everyone's talking about it. Bill Murray's going to be in it. They're so excited.
Who's going to go see it for a Bill Murray cameo, which is all he would lend to the Transformers
People are
franchise?
just going to go regardless.
When he
I
was
think.
starring in Rock the Casbah, nobody wanted to go see it. So Sean Connery coming out of retirement to do anything makes news, and it adds an air of credibility, an air of regality to the new Transformers movie. It's called Transformers either the first night or the last night, and he was in a movie called First Night. It makes so much sense
Can
for
you
Sean
imagine
Connery.
Sean Connery going, I'm going to finally make another film, and it's going to be Transformers.
It would lend credibility.
Mark, Doug, I love you guys, but leave these poor men alone. These men they've had amazing careers. Let them just stay at home. Sean Connery doesn't want to do another League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. He wants to stay home. He wants to relax and take it easy. He's Sean Connery. He doesn't need to be. We don't need to ruin Sean Connery's life and throw him into this movie. Vin Diesel's already making garbage. Let him just make more garbage.
What about Gene
but we
Hackman? Gene Hackman comes out of retirement.
If Gene Hackman wants to do it, Gene Hackman can do it.
Here's my problem with Vin Diesel.
Oh,
And
all
it's
right.
and it's Vin Diesel. No, my problem is that the Fast and Furious movies are really killing it. They're really fun. They're making a lot of money. I mean, obviously the Transformers are still making money, and that's why they keep making them. But what you're suggesting is going to mess with one franchise that is working for most people.
Right.
If you bring him out of Fast and Furious to fight, robots and cars.
Yeah, but like, how many more of these Fast and Furious movies can we make? Like, how many more?
It is limitless because apparently when a cast member dies, he could still be in the movie.
Right.
So
They just digitally put him in.
They could just go and go and go with those. And I think, to put it succinctly, I think Vin Diesel needs to stay in his lane, and that he shouldn't.
I honestly feel like
this
he
one.
shouldn't take over the Transformers. We already get to see Vin Diesel once a year in a big action movie, and I think it's time for somebody new, and that person is Gerard Carmichael and Bill Murray with Bill Murray. Like the two of them together. I mean, that's like
The thing is, Michael Bay has proven.
Ghostbusters magic.
Look, T.J. Miller is a really funny comedian, but he wasn't able to be utilized because Michael Bay simply isn't good at doing comedy. So
He's
Bill
not.
Murray,
Bill Murray,
would be
though.
wasted in the movie. The one good movie that Michael Bay has made. I love 13 Hours. Not everybody did, but everybody loves The Rock. So when you put the guy that was made The Rock great, Sean Connery, into another Michael Bay movie, maybe that can turn the tide. Vin Diesel simply A, doesn't have time, and B, Transformers is already trying to cross over with G.I. Joe. So when you throw Fast and Furious in the mix in there, it doesn't work. You should have
me
put
and
The
the
Rock
Autobots are
in
like
there.
family.
I think here's the thing that you're,
Optimus Prime drinking a Corona at the family barbecue.
I think it would work really well, and I think he'd be a fun person to watch.
That's a
get thrown
tough
into the
one.
mix.
He's not
Final
fun. He's
thoughts,
not
go
fun
ahead.
at all.
All right, final thought. If we got Vin Diesel in that movie, in the new Transformers movie, there is a possibility we could have a line where Vin Diesel pulls up in his car next to Optimus Prime, and he goes, "You want to race for pinks?" And then they race for pink slips over Transformers, and it'd be amazing.
I'd love to see that short open before my movie, which would be Sean Connery. Because look, guys, I'll be honest with you. We tried to put action stars who were aging into Transformers. Didn't work with Wahlberg. Not going to work with Vin Diesel. We tried to put comics in Transformers. Didn't work with Miller. Isn't going to work with Bill Murray. But when you take a risk and you put somebody who's already proven themselves in a Michael Bay spectacle movie, that's Sean Connery. It makes news and it adds an air of class, a different generation of appeal to the Transformers franchise.
Doug.
Looks like you're stuck between the rock and a hard case is one of the worst lines in the history of motion pictures. So I don't need to revisit that.
That movie's great.
And one of the greatest lines of all time is when Bill Murray says, "I got slimed." And after a big fight in the new Transformers movie, it's a perfect opportunity for him to say, "You got primed."
Wow.
Oh,
You're welcome.
I don't hate that. Though. I don't hate that.
Dan.
Yes. Twitter says The Rock because Twitter always says The Rock when we ask who we should put into franchises.
The Rock is an amazing movie. I'm going to be doing an interruption of it in San Francisco on August 13th at the Castro Theater.
They meant Dwayne The Rock Johnson, but The Rock is also an amazing movie.
It is a great movie.
I would like to see The Rock.
They're both
The Rock
great.
is the choice.
Can we just
Yes.
turn Transformers starts and then The Rock actually plays?
The Rock is
and
the
then
people's
Transformers
champion.
ends?
Yes.
I want everybody to go to Doug's live commentary of The Rock, because at some point he will admit on the microphone that, man, this guy would be great in a Transformers movie.
Go ahead, Dan.
Anthony Hopkins has been roped into this Transformers movie, which is called The Last Night. Unfortunately for Mr. Hopkins, or who knows, maybe it'll be great.
I recently watched The Rock, by the way. I didn't mind it.
The Rock is an amazing.
Oh, it's great.
It's
The Rock's
a great.
great.
movie.
It really holds up. It's the kind of dumb fun that those movies used to be, and now it's Resurgence.
Yeah.
Anything else, Dan?
Sean Connery's last film was The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen in 2003.
That's so sad. That's the last one.
Unfortunately, he's in retirement.
Gene Hackman's last one was Welcome to Mooseport.
And that's true.
Was it really?
It is. It was. And I would just like to make a disclaimer: Mark Ellis's feelings about young people are his own and do not reflect the feelings
Hey,
of Screen
I'm
Junkies.
20, okay? So I took real offense to that.
You're great, Christopher. You don't represent most young people.
Thank you.
They don't have ties. They have hoverboards with
Double down.
wheels.
Double down.
We have the poll.
We have the poll. Whenever you're ready, I will.
There was
reveal
just
the
one thing that I think spoke the most honesty of leave these poor two guys alone. I gotta give it to Glickman. It would be kind of fun to watch Dom drive around a Transformer. That puts us at a standstill here because Doug and Steven are tied with Mark in the lead.
Well,
It's
Andy,
still anybody's game. What did the poll say?
You've been vindicated. Vin Diesel won the poll 43%
All right,
to
finally.
33% Bill Murray, 24% Sean Connery.
Man.
All right, I gotta do a
get any
tiebreaker,
love.
guys. You ready for this?
Sure.
You've both done speed rounds before. We're going to move into a speed round tiebreaker. Here comes the music. This is a broad one. I'm going to ask you for a best something, so listen carefully and then spit out the movie that fits it to you the best.
Okay.
If you both say the same thing at the same time, whoever said it first will get that choice. They'll have to pick another question, another answer. You guys have any questions before I ask
Do you
the
ever have to
question?
go back and check the tape to see who said it first?
No, we just ask another question.
Okay.
Here we go. Everyone listen, here we come. Best prequel.
Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Okay. Glickman, whenever you're ready.
I'm guessing it has like a 1, 2, or 3 in the title.
Best prequel.
What happens if he can't think of a prequel?
He loses. Gotta spit one out.
These things are so hard sometimes.
I know.
It's pretty broad. There's a lot of movies.
There's a lot of them. I can only think of 4, and 3 of them I hate.
Yeah, I know. That's a real problem. The
Snap the movie.
Snap 2 was underrated.
Yeah.
was it? No, you can't. Damn it.
Gotta pick one.
Yeah, they didn't. I think all the Bring It On movies were in succession.
Son of a bitch!
All right, I'm putting a countdown.
All right. Okay.
They should do a Bring It On in the 60s, like how the
8,
parents got together.
7,
Key party.
6, 5, 4, 3.
Star
2.
Trek?
Star Trek?
One
No,
of the Star
I guess not.
Treks.
Damn it, forget it.
2.
I love that you're that committed to
1.
not voting for the
Yeah, you won't
prequels of
pick a
Star
Star Wars
Wars.
I won't, but no, fuck those Star Wars prequels. No way, America. I'm not bringing those prequels to
Can
you.
I just explain? That's one of the greatest, I think, speedrun answers of all time. Because people, I can know on Twitter and everywhere else, people are going like, "It is not." Indiana Jones: The Temple of Doom is set prior to Raiders of
That's
the
a good
Lost Ark,
start.
so it is
won
technically a
fairly.
prequel.
But as a judge, I don't know who I give the point to: the guy who picked a great prequel or the guy who refused.
I'm not picking Attack of the Clones or any of those films. Forget that.
This is a dying man on an island who found meat
Could
and
you count
refused
Godfather
to eat it.
2?
I was
You
just
can
about
count
to say
parts
that.
of the Godfather.
I was
2.
thinking Godfather.
It's,
that counts,
it's
then.
dicey. It's dicey.
Half
It's
and
half
half.
sequel, half prequel. Batman Begins would be one that people might say maybe.
Yeah.
Casino Royale
All right.
is someone maybe.
All right, I would
It's
have.
weird.
Those are reboots.
Right, it's
Yeah.
weird. Reboot, prequel, sequel,
I'm
prequel.
Sorry,
is all I am
Steven.
myself.
You're out.
But what? Do you have a list of prequels? Are there more? Like,
You got
what ones did we
Prometheus
not
is
think
one.
of?
Prometheus?
I'm thinking
That would have been
Prometheus.
great. Yeah,
Prometheus.
Prometheus was a great movie.
I'd rather pick the Star
There are
Wars
more.
prequels than
Let's.
Prometheus.
But I'm speaking ahead. All right, Doug, you move into speed round.
I did it.
Steven, you're gonna help me pick.
All
You're
right.
much better this time. Thank you for playing today. That was fun.
Anytime.
So that's a 3-1, Mark.
3-1. So Doug, you're behind on this, so you'll have to pay attention here and catch up. But before we go to speed round, I want to thank our sponsor once more time, Comic Bento. That's right, Comic Bento. You can visit them at comicbento.com and check them out. Dan has some of the comics over there, the graphic novels you can get. It's a original graphic novel subscription box, new stuff every month. And July's theme is going to be Cybernetic Collection with robots, androids, mechanical beings, and so much more. So make sure you go over there and put in promo code MovieFights at checkout to get 15% off your Comic Bento. Thank you, Comic Bento. Please keep supporting and go support them. All right, speed round, guys. Here we are. 5 more questions. Mark, you're ahead. Same rules apply. I don't need to say it again. You know how this works. Let's
Do we
get
stop
to it.
when I can't win? When I win,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not
If you
possible.
can't win, I'll let you know.
Okay.
The confidence of it, Doug Benson.
Let's get to that. I don't want to have to answer a bunch of questions if it's pointless.
No, we don't waste that time. I'm going to throw 2 DVDs, a bargain bin from the bargain bin up on this TV. Fans submit these. It's which movie should we buy? Scorsese fanboy on Twitter submitted these 2. So look carefully and shout one out when you got one.
You should
Dumb and
buy
Dumber 2.
Never Say Never, Justin Bieber.
All right. So Mark got Dumb and Dumber 2. And
sure
Doug
did.
has Bieber. Never Say Never. So Mark, you're up first.
Well, Andy, neither one of these films you want to put on your shelf when you have company over, but Dumb and Dumber 2 at least had moments where Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels did turn back into Harry and Lloyd from the first Dumb and Dumber. It didn't last throughout the entire movie. It was a misfire, but they had moments of comedic brilliance, whereas there's nothing redeemable about Justin Bieber's Never Say Never. Absolutely nothing.
All right, we'll find out if that's true. Doug, 20 seconds on the clock. That's right.
Well, I mean, there's one thing that's better. It's probably the box office results between the 2 films. I think Justin did better, but also, he's a talented kid. It's a documentary about him. If you're interested in him, great. You can be mad at that movie without watching it, but you actually watch Dumb and Dumber 2, and you get mad because you're watching it, because it is two old guys pretending to be these dumb characters from a long time ago, and it's not.
All
Doesn't
right,
work.
10-second rebuttal, Mark.
But we already have so many windows into Justin Bieber. There's only 2 chances to watch The Real Harry and The Real Lloyd. If you don't watch Dumb and Dumber, you can watch Dumb and Dumber 2 and still have about 30 minutes of good laughs within that movie. And it's a fun movie to watch.
10 seconds, Doug. Whenever you're ready, go ahead.
30 minutes of good laughs is a stretch. Just 10 seconds, right?
Yeah. Well, that was
My bags are ready.
All right, Glickman. Based on the arguments, who do you think gave the better argument?
I'm sorry, Mark, but I'm gonna go with Doug on this one. I think it's
your love of Selena Gomez, isn't it?
It's because I love Selena Gomez so much.
Quickly though.
No, I'm gonna say that because that is it's a documentary, and it is an interesting movie about somebody who is a huge deal in this country and around the world. And Dumb and Dumber 2 was mostly a pile of garbage.
Yeah, he got me with this one. Made me angry, which was an interesting point. But let's go, Chris, on the couch. Based on the arguments,
I'd have to go with Doug, to be honest. Like, I again, same points.
It was very close, but I think Dumb and Dumber's so bad that maybe you'll learn some from it. Wow, Doug gets the point. I didn't think that was going to happen.
That is a big wow.
I did like the Katy Perry documentary illuminated me into something. I didn't think I'd like that one. I did, so maybe I'll like Never Say Never.
All right, you're still in it though. You're still
I
up by
gotta say,
one.
I didn't mind it. I didn't love it, but I didn't mind it.
Pop star, Never Stop Stopping.
I thought it was funny.
Actually,
Yeah.
kind of funny.
Real funny.
That's good. Yeah. All right, here we go. Number 2, guys. If The Purge were real, what movie character would you want to kill the most?
The accountant's guy in the new Independence Day.
Hans Gruber?
Hans Gruber, yeah.
All right, accountant guy I heard first. Go ahead, Doug. Whenever you're ready.
Just not to pile on the Resurgence anymore, but boy, was that rough, that the character that just shows up in the back of Jeff Goldblum's car asking him questions about his taxes while they're driving on an expedition in West Africa. And then he gets to be in the rest of the movie and even go up to the goddamn orb and start touching it in a government facility that are all standing there wondering if that thing's going to kill them.
Oh, Mark, I'll admit, this is going to be tough. Go ahead.
It's going to be tough, but look, you're taking a guy who seems to be a good-hearted guy. He's just a little annoying versus a guy who literally kills people. Hans Gruber kills people, and he's charming, so he can charm his way into any building, making him one of the biggest threats we have on planet Earth. He needs to be killed during the Purge to help save humanity. Your guy, he just does taxes.
All right, 10-second rebuttal. Doug, go ahead.
We got to see Hans Gruber die already. We need to see this guy die. When he put his hands in that thing, I was like, good, get him out of here.
10 seconds, Mark.
The question is not what movie character died. The question is, who do you need to kill during the Purge? It's a very funny answer, but the true answer would be a lethal force on the planet that's used for villainy. That is Hans Gruber.
All right, Dan, I got to go to you first. I mean, I think we're all innocent. It was a good effort of the argument, but
hey, you know what?
That accountant, man, he was the fucking worst. He was the worst.
I'm not supposed to be here today.
Just a whole.
No purpose. Why does he get to be around
And if
the
you're
whole
gonna
time?
do it, at least make him T.J. Miller, right?
Or Bill Murray. Even better.
Like, yeah, who's that actor? Why are we supposed to? What is he doing? Like, you could just edit out everything he says in the movie. The story would not change one bit. Because even after he puts his hands in the thing,
Oh God!
he grabs
so
his
stupid.
hands and then lets him
All
go right away.
Round number 3.
I should note that it is now tied with 3 questions
Oh wow!
to go. Yes.
This happened. That happened quick. Mark, what the hell, Mark? Don't screw up here.
I was gonna
Speed
say-
round.
I'm more of a speed round type. If you give me a chance to think about something, I'm going to say something dumb.
All right, here we go. Number 3. What's a movie that's more than a decade old that you'd want to get a sequel for?
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Ooh.
Ooh, indeed. Titanic.
All right, Ferris Bueller's up first. Time starts when you talk.
We had such a great time with these guys in high school, and we all know that as an adult, you really mature and come into your own when you're in college. So I would love to see not only how Ferris's hijinks continued into college, I also want to see what happened with his relationship with his girlfriend and with Cameron. They were such great ancillary characters we never got to fully explore, so it'd be nice to see how their paths went astray, and then how they all reunion together during the summer, maybe.
Doug.
Let's set it in the summer. Why not? What did I say?
Titanic 2.
Listen, there needs to be another Titanic because we need to catch up with Rose right after what happened, and the scene after scene of people saying, "So you fell in love with that guy, and then you just let go of his hand, and let him drown to death while you were on a plank." Good work, Rose. What are you going to do next? Throw a valuable diamond into the ocean for no good reason?
All right, 10 seconds, Mark.
Well, we already got that because Titanic is also framed by an older Rose, so we know what her story goes from there. We have no idea what happens to Ferris or to Cameron or to any of these characters. When we'd love to see Ed Rooney back.
Doug, 10 seconds.
We already know what happens to Ferris. He becomes an actor who plays nebbishy, boring characters. Inspector Gadget was his last hurrah.
All right, everyone had their time. Yeah, I'm leaning on Mark on that one. Steven.
Yeah, I'm. Man, although I would love to see Titanic 2, Revenge of the Seaman or something like that. We're just a bunch of
Jack comes back from
the dead. Yeah, and he's got,
goes after.
If he had pitched that, then I would have been with
I would
him.
watch.
Yeah.
Zombie DiCaprio versus Billy Zane would not have been a bad fight.
That would have been a fun thing to watch.
Yeah.
Did Billy Zane definitely survive the first Titanic?
He killed himself later, they said.
Oh, okay. Oh, in the
Great Depression.
In the expression, the thing at the end.
Yes.
So you just had that moment of, that guy at least died.
Right
Mark-
after he did the Phantom.
Mark threw out whatever happened to Ed Rooney. Ed Rooney was the principal, right?
Yes.
Didn't
Yeah.
Ed Rooney
We know
become-
bad things have
bad
happened with
things
Ed
happened
Rooney
to
as
him.
well.
Horrible things
Horrible
happened to him.
things.
Yes.
But I will go with Ferris Bueller's Day
All right, 2. Doesn't even matter what you guys think of the couch. You guys get it. No, all right, I'm trying to get speed through this. We're led.
Yeah, it's a speed round.
That means
Slowest speed
Mark
round
got the
ever.
point. 4-3, right?
Yeah, 4-3. If Mark wins this, he wins the game. If Doug wins this, we go to the final.
We got to do one more.
Yeah, here we
okay.
go.
Congratulations, Mark.
Not including Independence Day Resurgence. Worst Roland Emmerich movie.
Whoa. The Day After Tomorrow.
10,000 BC.
Wow, you guys pulled those quick. Good for you. Other fighters would not have done that. I wasn't even looking at you. I meant other fighters in the show. You know your movies. Great. Here we go. Doug, you said it first. Day After Tomorrow.
Yeah, oh my God, the world's ending. We're all freezing. Let's go to the library. Let's go hang out in the library. Let's sit around there for a while. That sounds like a great plan. Like, every move every character makes in that movie is ridiculous, and it has the same problem that a lot of his movies have, including Resurgence. And we couldn't say Resurgence,
No.
right? All of his movies have characters you don't care about.
Yes, but that's like a couple of bad days. 10,000 BC is literally the entire history of humanity, and it's built on a crappy Roland Emmerich film that is not only racist because they cast white people where white people should not be cast. It also has horrible CGI, which is the one thing we would trust Roland Emmerich to do normally. He even fails at that.
10 seconds when you start, Doug.
But at least that movie is something that he just didn't do over and over again, and nobody does because, obviously it turned out terribly, but, somebody's got to eventually crack the Great Caveman mystery.
At least The Day After Tomorrow teaches us important things about the future of the planet. Maybe we should be paying attention to global warming. 10,000 BC is just a retread, and it's revisionist history over everything that's already happened on the planet. It's very boring. It's a pointless exercise.
All right, go to the couch, guys. Dan, what do you think based on those arguments?
Oh boy, really close. I would edge ever so slightly toward Doug, but it's very close.
Chris.
I would have gone with Mark, to be honest. Personally, 10,000 BC is worse, but I think I like what he said that Day After Tomorrow, while it is bad, has some environmentalist stuff about it. So, I'm glad that you pulled that.
Glickman.
It was best or worst movie?
Worst.
Worst.
Were you listening?
I just wanted to make sure. Which one they were arguing.
We were not defending our
Yeah, you're
film.
not defending your movies.
And he just said he agrees that it's the worst, but that he goes with Mark for another reason, for another thing.
No, we said 10,000.
Based on the arguments. Glickman.
I think.
I see what you're saying.
10,000
confuse
BC was a really bad movie, but it was also
Based on the
exploring a lot of-
arguments.
Yeah, it was exploring a lot of interesting stuff. I think.
Is Mark feeding Glickman his opinion?
I don't know. Based on the arguments.
All right, I'm going with Doug on this one.
Okay.
I forgot
I
which
don't know
one
if I trust
should-
any of these. So we had 2 and 1. All right.
Yeah.
Day After Tomorrow was terrible.
I gotta go based on the arguments. I just think it was, sadly for me, It was just a speed thing, which is one of you talked faster, so you got a little bit out further. And I do think the fact that Day After Tomorrow at least has a message, like Chris said, did help me sway it that way. So I got to pick Mark. That means Mark wins, right?
Yes.
Very close.
Well,
Congratulations,
gentlemen.
Steve.
Great
Close.
fighting, gentlemen.
Marcus is really good. You got it out there. You were thinking a little bit more, but it was very
Yeah.
close. But wow, good job, Doug.
Get it
Good
out
job,
there.
Mark. Good job, Steven.
Who said a title first between the two of us? Who did more thinking there, I wonder?
You know what? I was trying to remember if he did 2012.
Little victories. Try to get little victories
Did he
here.
do 2012 too?
Yeah, he
Because
did.
I was thinking
Yeah.
Day After Tomorrow 2012. You said that, and it's like you took both those ones, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh wait,
Yeah.
10,000 BC.
No, I am not a fan of that
Well,
gentleman's
guys,
work.
Doug, let's give you a little victory. I'm excited to announce
Give me a
something
consolation
fun.
prize.
Excited to announce, guys, I don't know if you know, but we're going to be at San Diego during their big Comic-Con with Screen Junkies Central, which I hopefully we have. There it is. We'll be there
wow.
Thursday night, Friday, and Saturday, doing some amazing shows live from San Diego. And if you want tickets and you aren't a Plus member, Plus members will get a first initial peek in, and then the other people will. But in order to get in, if you're not on Plus, you have to register. So you can register for free. That's how we get your info to make sure you know at ScreenJunkies.com/central. And I want to give a quick thanks to ShowClicks, who has been incredible. Their team created an amazing hub for us and took care of all the ticketing concern that'll soon be revealed. So if you want tickets, thanks ShowClicks, and make sure you go to ScreenJunkies.com/central to register. But we're going to be announcing so many things after you register, but I'm happy to announce something. Guess who's going to be joining us there? Mr. Doug Benson!
Yeah, I'll be there.
Doug Benson's coming, and we're teasing this because I can't say yet, but Doug's going to have a big announcement and some cool stuff to
Yes.
show, as well as do some fun comedy stuff there. So
Yep.
stay tuned, but I'm happy to have
coming
Doug.
to do some comedy stuff with Screen Junkies at Comic-Con.
Yes, and I'm excited for him to be able to tell you what it is more specifically. You will find out during the during Central. So come on, check it out. ScreenJunkies.com Central, register, come see Doug, and many more to be announced soon. So thank you, Doug. Excited to have you, and thank you, Doug, for playing. Where
Thank
can
you for
people find you?
having
Doug
me.
Benson on Twitter.
And DougLovesMovies.com.
DougLoveMovies.com.
Not Doug
If you aren't-
Fights Movies.
I'm sure most of you are listening, but if you are not, please go subscribe. This funniest podcast out there, and legitimate movie lover. I love it. You see everything. Good work. Thank you for
Yeah,
coming
well,
here.
I saw something yesterday because you made me.
It's good material.
I
You
draw
don't have
the
a whole
line
show
now.
to talk
I draw
about.
the line sometimes now. I would have waited to see that on a plane. And then just switch
wasn't
over to
theater-worthy.
something
A
good.
plane that was crashing. Mark Ellis at Mark Ellis Live. on
What
Twitter.
can make this plane crash better?
Please go subscribe. Schmoes Know. Let's get them over the 300,000 subscribers.
Yeah, I think they put the link in the description of the vid, so thank you guys for that. And at Mark Ellis Live on Twitter, I got Iowa City, Fort Lauderdale, and a couple of Northern California stand-up dates coming up. So huge, Super High Me is much better than Never Say Never. And Storks is going to be great too.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, thanks,
look at these
pal.
nice
that's
plugs.
nice.
Nice
That's
plug
right, the
for
man
you.
from
Hey.
upcoming Storks, Stephen Glickman at Stephen Glickman on Twitter. Where can people find more?
Yeah, if you get a chance to go to WarnerBrothers.com and check out the new trailer for Storks, which stars Andy Samberg, Jennifer Aniston,
And
me.
Did you get to record with them?
I got to record with Kelsey Grammer a little bit.
Ooh, that's
because
fun.
He plays my boss on it. So
his voice
it's-
in the trailer is hysterical.
This is kind of cool. I haven't actually gotten to tell anybody this publicly. So if you watch the trailer, I'm Pigeon Toady, the little pigeon with the bad toupee. But I'm also the voice of the polar bear, the rabbit, and the snow monkey in the trailer as well. So I got to keep all those extra little parts in there. So
really fun.
Yeah, so that's been really.
They let you have all the costumes?
I'd wear them too.
I'm excited to see that. I know my kid is going to love that. So I'm excited. Good for you.
Thanks, buddy.
Storks. Dan Murrell at Murrell Dan on Twitter.
Yep. Yep.
Christopher Spencer at I Am Movie God on Twitter. I am the Movie God.
I am the movie god, and you can find me on YouTube as well at Mr. Movies as well. Not at Mr. Movies, I don't have that many videos, but look up Mr. Movies. I'm like,
Oh, you
I'm
should
there.
get with Miss Movies.
yeah.
Yeah, she retweets a lot of my stuff. So
Good, there we go.
Rand's
Mr.
the
and
best.
Miss Movies. All right, guys, we'll be here after the fight, so stay tuned on if you're watching on Plus. Otherwise, we will see you next week. Have a one. I won't, actually. I'll be away on vacation. Some people on here are going to be very happy that I'm not here. Is Dan? Because some people don't like me.
I think I'm hosting
Dan, are
next-
you hosting next
I
week? We'll
think
figure
I'm
it out.
hosting
Someone
next
fun's
week.
going to be hosting
Somebody
next
will.
week.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. I'll be on vacation. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so excited to see you in San Diego. Make sure you go to ScreenJunkies.com Central. Bye-bye.
Every podcast we put on YouTube comes with this kick-ass graphic listing all the topics your favorite Screen Junkies podcasters are talking about. If you click the topics, you can skip around and choose your own podcast battle royale. Go ahead, try them all. If you haven't already, subscribe to Screen Junkies on YouTube to join us for future fights. Or if you prefer to listen on iTunes, click the logo to download an audio version.